94th day of
Adi sir ko namaskar pहुंचे.
and
Madam Lakshman ji ko namaskar.
IFPH. Let us start today's program with a silent prayer for 1 minute. Thank you and welcome back. Today we have with us Dr. Banu Prakash, MBBS, MS, MCH, NS, Obstetrics, BNI, USA, neurosurgeon, brain, spine, nerve, karma, preventive, holistic, eco-effective, Sadi Ayugya. You all know that he's a very familiar person to us, presented a lot of topics in this IFPH platform. Today's topic is human mind evolution. We all know that the movement of mind, as rightly said by Lord Sri Krishna, Vayoriva Sadushkara, just like you preventing it is the fencing of the mind. Very difficult. So on behalf of IFPH, I am welcome Dr. Banu Prakash. Please proceed, sir.
So thank you for the invitation. Sorry, I'm traveling, but only some sound disturbance might be there. Okay. It's a pleasure to be invited by your association and be talking to you many a times. I spoke about global health, then universal health. Then I was thinking, where else should I go? So then I felt that we should go within ourselves, within our mind. That is where is the because we all plan to travel outside, but the most important travel we usually avoid is traveling within our own mind. So let us understand how the mind has evolved over centuries and millenniums, mind of humans, and how we can encash it and utilize it for the best of ourselves. So I mean, in medical college, we have been told about Big Bang, then evolution, then the evolution of human body, the evolution from single cell amoeba to a complex human animal. And then among that, we come across what we call Homo erectus as the animal, the primitive human who could stand and walk. And from there, we have evolved into Homo sapiens. But somewhere, a part of Homo sapiens have devoluted. There is a degenerative evolution to Homo corruptus, what I call. So let us understand this variant, and at the same time, how can we evolve ourselves into Homo divinus, or the divinity in us. So I have spoken to these things before in subtle way, but today what I want to dwell into is the possibility of humans as a creature on Earth for many millenniums, because there are many evidences archaeologically and with refinements in carbon dating. We have been coming to know that humans have been on this Earth for many millenniums. It's not just few thousands of years. So it could be something like 800 millions or million years or something. So how is the human mind evolving, and what are the factors influencing it, and what are the so now once you every time it is a cyclical change. I have told you about the sinusoidal curves in human behavior, in earth cycle, and even the diseases. Now in the human mind evolution also and human evolution also, the sinusoidal curves have been working, because the mathematics is the ultimate truth, and the every object or even every particle follows these mathematical principles. So humans and human minds have gone through cycles of sinusoidal waves, wherein at one point there were giant people, and then the trough comes of a miniature humans, and then again a peak of giant people, and at the same time zenith of what we call divine humans, and to a trough of corrupted or demonic humans, and then again evoluting towards the divinity. So this sinusoidal curve has been observed over many millenniums, and that is what is happening. And I mean, when my grandfather used to tell me about some stories of a giants who used to eat other humans, and they were cannibals, and I used to laugh at them. I mean, that's a figment of imagination, I used to think, or it's just a story for the children. But of late, what we have been getting the archaeological evidences of it, and so these things make that. So let us not blindly accept it until and unless we have solid proof. But at the same time, let us consider it as a possibility. So why is that cyclical change is happening? That cyclical change is something like the swings of bipolarity, from depression to mania, or from divinity to demonic mindset. So this, can't we balance this? Can't we create a balance of emotions, balance of our thought process, and can we create a what we call peaceful coexistence of the giant and the Lilliputs? So this is what is the thought process we need to start thinking about, and we need to understand, because I went through a lot of turmoil during the COVID times, when I realized that this was a depopulation agenda. A virus has been created to kill people, and that too specifically some genetic background people, like the African genetics. And now I have come to understand that what the great Irish, what we call the big heads, which are, they call the druids, and druid could be the Dravidian. So it's similar sounding, and they might have used it in a looser way, but for to apply druid as an Indian, Dravidian. So let us understand these perspectives, and let us connect the dots and create a holistic approach to life, holistic approach to archaeology, astronomy, and even what we call uh, uh, the alien theories of it, the astronomy of it. So I have dealt about the possibility of human evolution from the chimpanzees to humans by alien intervention, creating a hybrid gene, be it the Anunnaki and other things. But uh, that possibility, let us not dwell too much on it, but let us dwell into the psychology of the humans. So I have spoken about supremacy psychosis among humans, and the opposite end of total sacrifice by some lot many religious leaders, and of their own pleasures of life, and also of the comforts of life, and even their the benefits of life, and even their life itself. So we have seen so many who have sacrificed their own life for benefit of many people, many the society, so that they understand what is the truth. So somewhere the truth has not been totally what we call um, without any cover-ups. I call it the truth should be totally nude. It should be without any garnishing, or without any makeup, with only the bare truth, that is, let it be about medicine, or even the astronomy, or archaeology, or so when we dwell on this, how do we inculcate it in ourselves? So, as I said, the amount of turmoil I went through in understanding the supremacy of a person who can create a virus. And now, the latest things which I have been discussing with some of the other people is there a virus? And is virus just a pseudonym for mycoplasma? Because there are many people who says that the degradation byproducts of the damaged cell are being represented as viruses, but actually the damage is caused by a mycoplasma. Because I had told, I think, during the COVID period in Nimans, there was an autopsy done of a person who died of frank COVID-like symptoms and everything, with neurological involvement. And ultimately, no, the COVID antigens and antibodies were not there, but mycoplasma antibody was there. But I mean, I felt okay, probably it was just a mycoplasma infection. But later, I got hold of this book called Virus Mania. It's a collection of articles and few editors who have written that virus itself is a misnomer created to mislead from actual treatment. So in allopathy, we use so many antiviral drugs which are specific to specific viruses, and it was very difficult for me to believe it in. But later, when theory and the conflict between the Louis Pasteur's germ theory and was part of the be it the ancient civilizations, the pyramids, or even the huge temples, or the churches, the Gothic churches which are there, have all been misrepresented and covered up in some half truths to create an impression of the recent generation taking some advantage for it. So, be it the science. So, similarly, Louis Pasteur probably had to, I mean, it was a good thing. Is a germ is a seed, and until unless the soil is fertile for that seed, or soil is compatible for that seed, the disease won't happen. So, that compatibility from divinity to demonic perspectives, and it has gone again to so probably we are in the transition, we are understanding both the extremes of it. So maybe we need to create a balance of both and create a understanding and isolate the people who are either too murderous, too sacrificial, and make them understand the balance of life. So this human mind evolution, which we have understood over the past few centuries with so many of the psychologists who have been teaching us about the psychology of I mean, I just overheard the discussion about the psychology behind thyroid in the last case. And how do we make them understand, realize the importance of it? I would say if somebody who sacrifices his life thinking that somebody would be better off might be doing some good thing, but at the same time he might be wasting his years of life, which we could have used it for propagation of better ideas. So when we, about Mantralayam, the Raghavendra Swamiji, who went into the Brindavana is a stone structure wherein when they are alive, they walk into the Brindavana and they meditate there, and they are made into a samadhi. So his idea of getting into a samadhi, live samadhi, to inspire many to become virtuous and become good, was it successful, or was it hijacked by somebody who was capitalistic on religious basis? So similarly, was Jesus sacrifice, crucifixion, acceptance for crucifixion was a sacrifice which was acceptable, or he could have lived more years and then created more awareness among people? So similarly, we have many other religions and local leaders who have sacrificed. And how does the mind go to that extreme level of sacrifice? And when we look at that, we need to understand the that try to imagine that time factor, that at that time, what was the prevalent customs and beliefs and notions of people, and based on that, somebody would have taken a decision and they would have been influenced on it. So how to evolve that to a better understanding and a better balance? So similarly, how to evolve the genocidal mindset of the depopulation mafia, which is the supremacy psychotic mafia. So initially, I was with a lot of rage, and I was with anger, frustration, sleeplessness. I mean, it's an evolution in me itself. The evolution from my anger perspective to empathy for their devolution, for their the devolution of their mindset, and understanding them and creating a pathway for them to heal and for them to cleanse their karma, what I call. So the theory of karma is what I understood over the past few years was a good what do you say perspective, which both of the extremes should understand, so that they can create a balance in their life, so that they don't harm themselves nor they harm others. So preaching this would be, this is what was preached by Buddha in Karyakarana Siddhanta, but the same Siddhanta was devoluted into past life karma, and something sort of an entitlement by birth, which was to create a social hierarchy based on caste, which was varnashrama initially, or based on genetics, which was the blue green eyes or the races of the European race. So such sort of a hijacking of every concept, hijacking of every aspect is been happening. See, when you look at the physical dimension of giants in the past, and now there are by genetic manipulation or orthopedic techniques, lengthening the limbs and creating tall people, we are we are recreating the lost thing. And somewhere, we how could we have retained the giants with the at the same time retained the dwarfs? So such sort of a balancing act has to happen in the physical dimension, in the emotional dimension, and also the thought process. So and along with that, we need to consider the possibility of a universal peace. When I said that the requirements of some other planetary beings for some mineral or some hormone or some what we call nutritious element to harvest the mineral, or even the to kill another species for hormones. So that sort of an extreme behavior and extreme thought process needs a balancing. And maybe we all need to introspect in ourselves, understand the amount of uh, our dilemmas in our mind, and understand the beauty of the swings of the mind, the thought process, from one extreme to another extreme, the greed of self preservation to the sacrifice of self destruction. So, once we try to acknowledge, first we need to acknowledge that, and then we need to achieve a balance of it. The balance would be to sacrifice, to something like gift something to somebody, at the same time be ready to take some take a gift from others. Let it be with mutual consent and mutual benefit. It's a sort of a win-win situation. So the concepts are dispersed isolatedly, but the concepts need to be connected and integrated. That sort of an integration needs to happen in each person's mind, based on their life realities, based on their situation, based on their uh, so when it comes to our own practice, we have so many medicines which we at our disposal. We have so many symptoms in the patient. How do we balance them, and how do we connect them, and how do we uh, uh, titrate them for each person's need, is the dilemma and the swing we need to realize, and we need to understand. From not prescribing a drug to over prescribing a drug, from not giving importance to one symptom of a patient to over emphasizing on that symptom, and then simultaneously and similarly emphasizing on what relationship and neglecting what, and what thoughts. So this is the evolution which human mind has to make. And definitely it is, there is a sinusoidal curve which applies to each person individual, and at a family level, and in his environment, the what we call the milieu of his ecological ecosystem of his profession or personal life or social life, and also the milieu of a society or a state or even a region, a nation, or even the world or a planet. So when you look at all these perspectives, integrating them would be integrating them would give us a balance as early as possible, rather than, because now the world is far more integrated, far more connected, and far more understood in a speedier way. So when there was airborne lasers creating forest fires in Lahania, the Hawaii Island, nobody bothered. But when it is happening in Los Angeles, we are waking up. So let us not let it happen in our own neighborhood before we awake. So let us awaken our own inner conscience, and let us awaken our own integrity and the truth of our thoughts to create a one is contented mind, peaceful mind, and also create awareness and modify the others who are in distress of either bad karma because of their greed or their total sacrificial attitude, and create a sense of equality and prosperity for everybody. So that is the peace of mind we need to achieve. And this is a different dimension of evolution. Evolution and devolution to happen, and the acceptance of it. And at the same time, acceptance gives peace, but at the same time, will be more enthusiastic in modifying it. So that would take us to the upward curve of human evolution, to a better heavenly divine beings, and create what we call a truthful era and a heaven on earth. So this is, I think I've repeated many of the concepts which I've spoken to in the past few talks, but integration was a new thing which I understood of late. So I thought I'll give this perspective. So I would like to know from you, what is your experience of the human mind evolution and devolution over the past few decades which you have experienced, and get your insights. So thanks a lot for the opportunity. I would definitely want an interaction much more than my continuous talking. Hello, Manoj sir, could you?
Yes, thank you, sir. That's a interesting one. At the same time, opening the eyes, the insight of the mind is needed. It's not an easy topic to discuss, because to ask some questions or to share something with you must be at the same level. It's not at all easy, because you are a highly learned person. You have your own philosophy. So you mentioned about this, the nature has its own variety. The natural has, it should keep the balance.
Yes.
And integration is needed. All these things are, as I initially mentioned about the Bhagavad Gita, I said, this Vayurivasa Dushkara, how to control your mind. And Arjuna say it is very difficult. Just like to control the wind with a fence. Just like that. Now, Dr. Hariharan sir, he is definitely a philosopher too. Sir, you can unmute us, sir.
Okay, Dr. Banu Prakash. Very nice, very nice lecture. I liked your lecture. But my opinion, I like to convey to you, to convey the public. See, that is what is that. See, we evolved from unicellular organism, and we reached to a multicellular, and we reached the evolution at this stage. Bigger organism like us, man, and at the same time, the mind is also evolved.
Yes, sir.
Mind is also evolved, but at the stage of the man, we must try to evolve ourselves. That is our duty.
True.
That is our duty. We must evolve ourselves. But other evolution has happened happened by the nature. But
Yes.
it is now our duty is to evaluate ourselves and reach at the stage of higher mind. That I like to say, that is a balanced state of mind.
True, sir.
That I mean, yes, Stita Prajna, that is the higher state of mind.
True.
That there is a lot of different techniques are here. That a man can choose according to his likes and dislikes. He can evaluate. So, man is a social organism, and he must interact with the social beings. Now, I can say one example is Mahatma Gandhi. He interacted with the all organisms. I mean, even see, in freedom fight, he tried to evaluate himself and reached at a stage of higher mind. I only say higher mind, not Siddha Prajna, higher mind. Every man should try for that.
Sir,
That is my opinion.
yes, sir, that's true. Many of the politicians who used Gandhi for their own needs and greeds, they felt that Gandhi was not listening to them after some time. And he developed, to some extent, whatever he started speaking, he started believing in it, and then he started living it. That's when they felt a threat in him. That's why he was murdered. That's what is the strength of evolution in him. That evolution created a martyr and a greater being in him. So that's what that evolution of one's own mind. He practiced ahimsa. He practiced truthfulness, and then he practiced penance from his desires and everything. So that is the reason why he evolved into a being wherein he went to prevent the massacre of Bangladeshis, and that's when the some of the supremacy psychotic Manuvadi couldn't tolerate that. So that is the level of evolution that can be felt by others. And definitely he's continued to influence so many of the people even after him being a martyr. That is the beauty of human evolution. We evolve from a physical being to a spiritual being or a energy being, and that energy being of the human mind is sort of integration into the universal energy, so that the thoughts, the benevolent and truthful thoughts perpetuate forever, and that is immortality. That is the mind immortality which we need to achieve with in our physical lifetimes, so that the purity of heart and also the truthfulness of our thoughts remain forever.
Sir, what you said is correct, but I like to say, like a physical body, the mind is also having a homeostasis process. That is to go to normal. We are giving medicine to get the homeostasis, that to become to normal, to normalize our body. Likewise, the mind is also having the same property to go to the normal. So we homeopaths, in a little way, we are also doing like that, with this technique. that when the mind is deranged, we will give the medicine and try to become normal. So in that concept, I like to say, when the mind deranges, the physical body parameters will also change. When the mind becomes normal, that parameters also will come to normal.
True, sir.
What do you say, sir?
Yes, sir. True, sir. That is a connection of mind and body, and the psychosomatization is so rampant in every day and every point of life. Until unless we address that, we'll be incomplete in treating the patients and treating our own thoughts and our own behaviors. So what I say is we need to analyze our own thoughts and then correct the emotions, truthfully understand our own past events, analyze the thoughts and correct the emotions, and the what we call that heals us from within, so that our behavior changes in future. So that is the futuristic implication of the meditation and the mind what we call mind management, which we need to do, so that we evolve to a better person every second.
Correct. Very good.
Yes, sir. It's really a very good discussion is going on. And your presentation about the evolution of mind was really excellent. And I would like to say some more thing that as homeopaths, we used to say the sora is the root cause of all these things. And uh, so, uh, when the mind is deranged, the person body automatically react to that, and as a result of that, because of that influence, the person get diseased. That's the reason why we say that it is not the bacteria or virus that produces the illness. It comes secondary. When the mind is deranged, automatically with the resistance of the person naturally go down, and then automatically all these people can enter into the body and make their own game on the body. What's your opinion on that, sir?
True, sir. That is the terrain theory of life, Richard Bernard. So probably we have been too much misled by the germ theory alone, which emphasize more on what we call the capitalistic petrochemical medicine model, which was more profitable for the corporations rather than decentralizing health to the minds of people. Rather than to the minds, it is centralized to the machines of corporations. So we need to make people realize this and create a what we call the society with humanity with better conscience. The what we call Atma Shakti, the power of our own self. So that is the future of truthful medicine, I believe.
Yes,
Correct.
sir. The
Correct.
climate
That
change,
is-
we all know that the COVID number of patients were detected just after checking that whether the patient is positive or not. The person, not the patient, the person is positive or not. Frankly, there are millions of viruses and bacteria living in our body, doing any harm to us. So also in that case, also even though there is no symptom, that means that the patient, he's not at all a patient. But in order to increase the number of the patient, they told that he is positive, so he can be considered as a diseased person. And the purpose behind was everybody know that it is to inoculate that so-called injection. And am I right, sir?
True. Regarding the recent HMPV also organism, I don't want to call it a virus because I'm more inclined to consider it as a mycoplasma as of now. So this was the organism in the birds, and that was made capable to infect humans, and that's how they released it. Similar to the HTL, the simian T cell lymphotrophic virus, which was made into a human T cell lymphotrophic virus to infect humans, or the corona virus in bats, which was made to infect what we call humans with COVID-19. So these are the things which need to be addressed, and that's why what we call uh, uh, we need to. And first thing is the mafia, which the devoluted people, who the mafia with psychological devolution, who want to create murders and depopulation. Uh, they need to be made aware of the uh, deviant psychology they have. So we need to be outspoken about it. We need to be truthful and be bold about it, and tell them on the face saying that this is not a good thing. This is a bad. Probably it could be because of some organism which they're infected with, or some radiation damage, or some nutritional deficiency, or whatever. Definitely the karma deficiency of the spiritual deficiency they are developed. So we need to fulfill that deficiency so that we can create a better race of humanity with more evolved people and very minimal of the devolution. And second thing is we need to enhance our own spirituality, our own truthfulness, and our own what we call Atma Shakti, so that we are able to reach out to them and reform them. Similar like how we reach out to the sick people and reform them with medical camps, or even one-to-one individual consultations. We need to reach out to the sick in the other extreme also. So let us do this so that for we have a holistic healing of at both the ends of the spectrum.
Okay, sir. Now it is up to Dr. Hibbert to say.
That's very interesting talk and a philosophical talk. So I thought it was very much interesting. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Because you are talking about many things in many talks. I want to ask you one question. While
Yes, sir.
Jesus was, there are 12 disciples are there, but Jesus said, one among you is a devil. One among you is a devil. He did his work throughout his life. I want to ask you whether we can make a devil to the other part, spiritually
Okay.
enlightened and yeah.
See, it's similar to the Hindu mythology of Rahu Ketu. They say they were the asuras who came to join the gods, and so we need to understand that inclusivity of deviant mind evolution. What we call, some of the people might have a greedy behavior, or a selfish behavior, or a damaging nature. Probably it's a reflex, or probably it's a what we call uh, an uncontrolled urge in them, which needs to be kept under control by the love and affection of the rest of the other people. So it was a challenge. It would be a challenge for the 12 to keep the bad in the 13th subdued. Otherwise it would overshadow. So many a times it happens that the 13th might infect his attitude to all the other people, and create a majority of bad mindset, and take the human evolution to a devolution, what we call. So this is a philosophical principle wherein even the bad thing will always be there in the peak of good things, and even the good thing will always be there in the trough of all the bad things. So this is the what we call the spectrum of nature. This is the inclusivity of nature which we need to understand. And but every society should climb up the curve towards a balance of um, uh, evolution and devolution, and maybe climb down the devolution pinnacle, or climb up the devolution trough, or climb down the evolution pinnacle sometimes, so that we achieve a balance. And what we need is inclusivity and forgiveness in that. So forgiveness would create self-realization and introspection in the people with a abnormal behavior, and make them reform to better. So that is what is the power of compassion and love.
I ask you, we can in Mahabharata, we can see that Vibhishan and everything. They are sold. They are sold. Even though they are in the bad place, they did what they did. What is the fate of such people? I am asking you.
The fate of such people will see, they are immortal now because of the goodness in them. So despite being in the bad, see, something like we give similarity of a lotus which blooms in even the dirtiest of the ponds. So we need to that is a self-realization and a self-individualistic evolution, despite the devolved what we call the surroundings. So even though many of the people around us are not probably they couldn't have the energy or the time or even the resources to evolve to our levels, but at least we can try to evolve to a greater level. To a greater level as compared to what we were yesterday. That is the everyday evolution which we need to achieve, so that we stand exemplary to the people. So that personal level, I used to go to a hospital wherein they never they considered me as a shadow surgeon. They never publicized me that I was operating, and I felt that I needed that money to have some pleasures of life. But now I feel that probably I am worsening their greed in the process. Their greed of taking in not giving due recognition to the people, because I observed some similar habits and what we call behavior with respect to others. Then I felt I should not be the cause for that such behavior. So I told them I won't be coming in future because your mindset is not appropriate. So that is how we need to sacrifice something to create an evolution in ourselves, to create an evolution and to induce an evolution in others. We need to sometimes be harsh to an extent, or detach ourselves from the pleasures of the company or from the benefits of the company, and ensure that both evolve to a better what do you say, mind thought process and a mind frame set to create a better humanity.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, what is
Sir,
your...
in our homeopathic festival, we consider the sir, please wait. Please wait, I mean, sir. According to Dr. Hahnemann, in his first book, Organon of Medicine, that is we consider this as the Bible of homeopathy. And the very first line itself, it is first page itself, it is written, "Dare to be wise." That was written some 250 years back. The words of this that writing is still relevant, sir. That's the reason why some doctors like you come forward and you're speaking just like what Hahnemann intended to speak and want to speak and want to. That's the reason why most of us are very much interested with your talk, and you are the person really want to communicate directly with the people, common man. You want to protect the humanity. And that's what we have seen from all your presentation. Such a determination. That's why you came forward with. Otherwise, you can sit in the AC room and you can just eat and play everything. You are because you are getting all those things, but you are not satisfied at all because you are connected to the mind of the patient. You want to make more people healthy, wealthy in the healthy way itself. So congratulations, sir. Can you add anything to that, sir? That sentence, sir? Then we can go to Harihan, sir.
Sir, I was fascinated by
Please unmute, sir.
can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes.
I was fascinated by Hahnemann sir's literature. I read about it initially during my PUC, and the principles were very good. And what I felt was integration of all the things would be a better thing for the future of humanity. And I mean, I would. Previously I told you that we had a clinic wherein we used to have homeopathy, Ayurveda, and allopathy, all three sitting together and giving consultations and giving treatment protocols. So such sort of a integrated medicine would be sort of future possibility, and definitely his principles have been guiding many of the doctors especially, and even the humanity for a healthy living. So we'll always cherish that. And at the same time, we need to take it to a global or a universal level of mindset of the mind of species, be it animals, be it interplanetary species, and create a peaceful and happy world.
Yes, sir. That's what the purpose of life itself. Yes, it is up to Dr. Khalid. Please unmute, sir.
Sir, what is your opinion regarding the now the society is going to a positive psychosocial evolution or a negative psychosocial evolution?
Definitely, I look at it positively. Why? Because the awareness about the negativity is increasing. See, a change happens only when we are aware of it, we acknowledge it, and then we, because the evolution in me has happened after awareness, acknowledgement, and then the struggle of reforming myself. So the society is going through this. So probably the society is lagging behind because one is we are fortunate as doctors to have the best privileges of life, to have time, to have good nutrition and good energy, and even a lot of networking to know the different perspectives and choose among the perspectives. And it's always a choice at every point of life. At every point, they see. I also went through greed in my personal life and professional life, looking for pleasures of money and fame and name, and even the what we call the benefits of lot number of patients and other things. But once we are satisfied to an extent, and then we decide, that is the decision. It is the decision to grow beyond them. It is the decision of probably some of the events in life wherein I was made to introspect about my perspectives, my thoughts, and my priorities would made me to evolve into a to choose for the better of all rather than better of myself at the cost of others. So that realization made me evolve, and that realization will make the people evolve. And when we probably we have not lived the previous civilizations or the millenniums and have not seen their devolution. So probably we have reached the trough of devolution, and we are going towards the evolution. So this is how the transition period would look like. And even if we are halfway through devolution or as per the previous sinusoidal curves, I would say we would negate the sinusoidal curves and create a balance, baseline, more towards the baseline. So that should be the positivity in us to ensure that we create the reality what we want rather than go with the flow. We need to, they say that only dead fish go with the flow. We need to be the vigorous young fishes who swim against the tide. So we need to swim against the sinusoidal tide and create a balance on the tide.
Okay, sir. Very correct. Very correct. Your observation is very correct, sir. I am also having a very good hope to the future, sir. See, by seeing the youngsters, I am seeing a lot of plus points. Plus points. So I have a wonderful hope regarding the world that once it will come to a truth that everybody is having pleasure and see happiness. That is my hope. So it may happen. I think it's so, sir.
And the younger generation is very much thoughtful, and especially the children, the questions they pose, the thoughts they have is far more superior than what we were at that age. That is because of the phytoestrogens or even the stimulants or even the know-how or the social media creating awareness about different aspects, especially the emotional aspects. When I watch my niece, who is her understanding of life, her questioning about things, and at the same time, I feel they can be misled by the social media, the gadgets like TV and mobiles and laptops. But we need to give them a direction, because the energy they have, we need to give it a direction of positivity, give it a direction of truth and peace and happiness. Because sometimes they give more importance to the pleasures and the monetary aspect, but we need to make them understand the truth of it. I was just discussing about the same issue, like the capitalistic mafia, the monetary mafia which is there. We need to come out of that and create a barter system of compassion and care and empathy with love and affection, so that the society, humanity grows evolves into a more peaceful and healthy world. So that is what is the direction we need to take. And definitely the fear sometimes I have that the hyper mature younger generation might get what we call burnt out faster, or they might get into some amount of the junk attitude, the food or the habits or even the pleasures, or get into addictions. But I would feel that it, as responsible seniors, we need to take them to a better direction and ensure that the evolution happens without destruction, and the evolution happens without devolution in ethics, or the evolution of thoughts and intelligence does not happen at the cost of devolution of ethics and values and principles and passion, compassions. So that is that balance we need to achieve. So maybe the mind evolution would evolve in different spheres, and it would go in a reverse gear in different aspects. So we need to bring that balance in each individual. That is what we need to do.
Very correct.
Yes, sir. That's your observation is absolutely right. The young generation, particularly the so-called children of the day, they know most of the thing, even becoming at the age of 5, because they know how to handle a mobile. They know how to click search something like that. So that is the advancement of the time, and nobody can hide everything for a long time. Naturally, the health process in the health prospects also, people, young generation will look forward for good things. That's why they are searching whether this kind of food may make me cancer. They are always aware of cancer. They are thinking about cancer. Oh, my father or the grandfather died of cancer. So what is cancer? Like that, how it happens and how it can be prevented. So these kind of thoughts are there. And very recently, there was a youth festival in Kerala by school children. All the folk plans, folk program and fans items, everything were played in a beautiful way, rather than the old generation they were doing. So that much of interest in the present generation in all aspects, not only in health, all aspects. So what's your I think Dr. Manoj wants to say something. It's up to Dr.
I would
Manoj.
say that even in cancer, there is a lot of truthful awareness among the medical oncologists to use methylene blue or ivermectin and even albendazole and other novel therapies, metformin and vitamins and minerals to holistically cure cancers. And at the same time, fasting, which is being propagated in a much more better way. And I would like to, Kudiyat sir would be more eager about energy healing, and that sort of a holistic approach is happening. And second thing about the folklore, the Americans are looking at indigenous people developing more cultural and social and political networks for the indigenous people. So such sort of a awareness of our own self, our ancestors, and our ancestry, maybe through reviving our own past cultures, rituals, and languages would be a better way. So I would say that we need to learn more Pali and other primitive languages to tap into the genes of our ancestors within us, so that we learn from the DNA itself.
Yes, definitely, sir. Don't worry about things because it is always cyclical. The four yugas are Satya Yuga, then the Treta Yuga, this Dwapara Yuga, then this Kali Yuga. Then it's again rotating. You can see all these things in the earlier days and now it happens.
Collectively, we can fast forward the Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga.
It happens. Then you said about this compatibility of soil. That is the most important aspect as far as the medical science is concerned. But what happens is that they kill the germ and cure the disease. It's a theory, but that cannot be applied. So naturally the medicines, the sales of medicine will go down. Everybody knows that, but they are not at all able to accept because of the for sake of the medicine.
It is happening. Allopathy hospitals are becoming less occupied, and they're having financial issues now. So probably it's a cycle, natural cycle.
Yes, yes. Then again, you mentioned about this virus is a misnomer. That's a shocking information from a physician of the allopathic side. Blindly following this antibody theory often happens, but you said it rightly. Then you mentioned about this mycoplasma. Then the fragments of this mycoplasma is often wrongly called as its virus. So that's a very, very interesting and important topic. And I think everybody in this platform will benefit it. And those who are watching this in the YouTube also, we must highly benefit. Thank you for your participation as well as we salute your genius. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Satyameva Jayate.
Okay, Dr. Hibbert, you can say the vote of thanks to the session.
Please unmute, Dr. Hubert. Please unmute.
You are coming always with gifts to us, because all the time, most of the doctors are talking about many things and medications and everything. We are always dealing with such things. But you are saying your hope of a coming, and Dr. Manoj said that there is a time for every cycle will get again and again will come. There is a prophecy in Bible that in the future there will be the ages will be increased. If one died at the age of 100, it will be a child death or an infant death. That time will consider as it is. So the life will be like our ancestors, like Fishma and everything. They are living for 700 years or more. That is expecting in the coming years. So your hope and for the coming days, you are always keeping it in mind, and you are sharing it to all of us. Thank you very much, Doctor. Such a wonderful talk and your everything. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you, sir. I have hopes that I'll live for 200 years.
Good. That will be great.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
With that, we come to the end of the day, 1594. Tomorrow, we will have a session from Dr. Sri Lakshmi, and Dr. will be talking about management of diabetes mellitus homeopathy. Thank you once again, Dr. Banu Prakash, and those who attend the session.